The Elfsong Tavern. I wonder if my old rings are still there. They could be of use to you.
Welcome, traveller. Remember, this ain't the Blushing Mermaid, it's the Elfsong. So behave yourself.
I guess you must be the tavern's hired muscle.
That's right. And a lonely job it is too. When you're the muscle, no one thinks about your heart.
Maybe you should change jobs. Can you sing? A tavern always needs a bard.
Very funny. Go on inside, they're looking for comedians.
Well, look what the bugbear dragged in. Can't believe we both made it to the city, and with our limbs attached.
Didn't we make a bet in the Druid's Grove? You didn't think you'd survive, yet here you are.
We did, didn't we? Never thought I'd begrudge being alive. Alas, I've got nothing in my pockets but lint and disappointment.
You owe me nothing. Don't worry about it.
How are you both humble and attractive? It's just not fair, nor will my honour allow it. So how about this? Alan puts swill in the bottles, but I know where he keeps the good stuff. Here. You saw nothing. You heard nothing. I need to get back to work before Alan throws a fit, but stick around. You brighten the place up.
Where's Alfira? The two of you are usually together, no?
Check the roof. But you didn't hear that from me.
Aye. Pull up a seat. If you can find one spare, that is.
Business going well?
With all this talk of war, what else are folk to do but drink? I reckon the murder would had something to do with it too. Got punters all intrigued. On that morbid note, what can I get you fine self?
Tell me more about the murder.
Going to make this place famous, I reckon. Victim is a bloody duke. Boleyn Stelmane. Well, she was a duke. Now she's just bloody. I reckon I'll be able to charge double for that room once the constable's done with it. Murders and ghosts are always grand for business. At least, I hope.
I'm looking for a place to stay.
I tell you what, the murder upstairs has brought some punters, but it's also really spooked folk out of renting rooms. If we get you staying up there, perhaps folk will calm down and realise there's naught to worry about. You can have the whole upstairs floor until this killer thing blows over.
You're optimistic. What makes you so sure it'll all blow over?
The city always wins. There's always some hero that saves the day. It's the way things work.
Perhaps I could get a discount on the accommodation?
Charity! In Baldur's Gate! Good one.
You want 200 gold to sleep next to a murder scene? Really?
Keep your voice down about the bloody murder upstairs. Top floor's all yours. If it gets a bit too noisy at night, well, don't sleep above a pub.
Halt, Civvy. Turn back. This is an active crime scene.
Hold on, Thornhill. I'm tired of standing here. Devella's been up there for ages. Some diversion would be welcome.
Investigator Valeria told me to speak with Constable Devella.
Constable Devella said she wasn't to be...
Investigator Valeria outranks her. As you were, Civvy. Fair warning, though. She's in a foul mood.
Stelmane's parlor. A place to receive clients and informants. I wonder if it's as I remember it.
Oh, bollocks! I told those idiots not to let anyone through. You. Name, rank, and reason for interrupting an active crime scene. For your sake, the last one better be bloody good.
Are you Devella? Valeria sent me.
To fetch her another bottle of mead, no doubt. Yes, I'm Devella, the unfortunate colleague. Unless you've got useful information, leave me to my work. Duke Stelmane's dead, and I've got to find who killed her.
Was it an aspiring Bhaal cultist, by any chance?
Bhaal? That's exactly what I... Wait, How do you know about that?
We found a list of potential targets linked to the murder of Father Lorgan.
God, that's it. Proof that I was right. I've been working on an assignment, see? A research project of sorts. I knew my conclusions were sound, but this... I never expected this. I'll tell you what I know. A century ago, there was a man, Saravok Anchev. He was a child of the god of murder, Bhaal. He ruled the Iron Throne, a dark tower hiding a darker secret. It was the front for a deadly arms-dealing network. There, Saravok amassed an army and sought to become a god. Under his stewardship, the Bhaal temple was revived. And with it, the Bhaal cult itself. Fortunately, the temple was destroyed. And to cleanse the city of Saravok's memory, the Iron Throne was torn from its foundations and cast into the Chionthar. For most, that was the end of it. But cults like that don't disappear overnight. That list you spoke of confirms I'm right. The Bhaal cult is back, and someone is out there, continuing Saravok's work.
Bhaal has a new chosen in Baldur's Gate, Orin. I suspect she's behind this.
God save us all if you're right. But I believe it. Whoever it is, they're intimately familiar with Saravok's work. The brutality of the killings is on a par with Saravok's own. But there's something more here. Something new. There's a reverence to these murders. A certain flair. It's as if they were done in worship. The precision of the cuts, the depth, the execution. The best butchers in Faerun couldn't make a cut like that. Trust me, I've asked them. I tried to explain all this to my superiors, but they wouldn't have any of it. They told me to drop it. Told me the city doesn't need another conspiracy theorist and to get back to doing my job before they find someone else to do it for me. But you're not bound by such constraints. Oh, help me out here. Help the city out. I bet if you follow the trail of these murders, you'll be able to unearth the truth of this resurgence.
What about the other victims on the list? The ones who are still alive?
There are patriarchs on the murder target list. I'm oath-bound to secure them first, so I'll be heading to the upper city next. While I'm there, the other potential victims will be at risk. Could you warn them?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. That's all I can ask, and more than I hoped. Once I'm done with the patriarchs, I'll head to Basilisk Gate to have another go at convincing my superiors to put some resources into this matter. Meet me there if you've anything more to report. And good luck.
A lot of blood. And some pink stains? A blooded ring. Safe to say the killer isn't motivated by riches.
That's curious.
Unusual bottle. An even more unusual scent. This wine is poisoned.
Look at you, just lying around, you furry chunkers. Disgraceful. Damn rats. Oi, you! I thought I asked you to clean the rats out of this cellar yesterday already. Hop to it. Get in there.
The rats are unimportant. Your name is on a list of murder targets. You need to hide.
No, I need them rats taken care of. Here's the deal. I'll keep a lookout for murderers. You murder the rats.
Look, Tambourine, a servant comes to help us.
Hello, servant ape. Would you kill those rats, please? Their presence vexes me.
When they're dead, the other servants will feed us.
You kill the rats, yes? I heard commotion in the cellar. Good, perfect. Here, you take this. And do not worry. Chef Revere's eyes will be kept most peeled for murderous knaves.
hello there. We were just about to try some of Master Metzley's delightful wines. Would you care to join us?
Oh, they do look ever so tasty.
Ah, Mrs. Highbury, I prefer to conduct tastings individually, so I may assess your palate.
Call me Cora, Master Metzley. And I'm afraid I must insist on their joining us. Wine's no good without company, after all.
The wine scent is almost sickly sweet, with an acrid note just on the periphery. Poison.
Cora Highbury, your life is in danger. A serial killer is after you.
No! I must say, if this is a practical joke, it's not very amusing.
Why, a serial killer? Oh, that's terrible. Master Metzley, are you quite all right?
It was perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You have sullied it with knowledge, made it an unclean sacrifice. I will remember your face, and I will peel it from your skull should you interfere again.
Gone. Where he goes, death is soon to follow.
I still can't believe... Why would anyone want to kill me? Thank you for saving us.
Have you seen him? Have you seen my dad? His name is Piasecka. He's a super brave knight. We came here together, but he had to leave. He said that Cora would look after me. She's really nice, but I miss Dad.
There's a sadness in her voice that betrays a wisdom beyond her years. She knows her father's not coming back.
Your dad sounds like a good man. And you like Cora, don't you?
She smells of lavender and roses. She's really nice. She looks after all the kids who've got nowhere to go. She's helping me write down all of my dad's stories so everyone will know how brave he is.
I hope we're not too late.
Head hacked clean off and made to watch. Twisted vision.
Another bit of clown? Please, no more.
Gods! Even Dribble's pelvis was severed. This joke's can't have been that bad.
Rest in peace, wherever you are.
Facemaker fashion.
Oi, you! Get in the bloody queue! How long do you think Master Pennygood expects us to wait? I'm bored already.
It's unusual for prey to supply the tools of its own butchery. Razors, scissors, nail files. So many cuts one couldn't make. And yet, such a fleeting window. But then, who am I to deny the auspices of destiny? For we are celebrating, Master Figaro. You have the delicious honor of being my crowning achievement. Your body is my ultimate gift to my lord, Bhaal. Together, we shall transcend. A challenger. My lord tests me. This piteous hovel will be your grave, challenger. Another witness to my sacrament.
I should have known it would be you. Thank you. If it had been the dwarf alone, we might have stood a chance. But these doppelgangers, they swarmed us. We were paralyzed before we even had the chance to fight back.
Weren't you supposed to be protecting patrias in the upper city?
I was heading that way after we last spoke, when I heard a commotion. I stepped in to see what was going on. It's not every day you have the chance to catch a killer in action. Not even in this profession. These killings aren't random. In fact, they seem to be part of some sort of test. That document you showed me before, the one with the victims' names on it, that was the briefing. The killers paralyze their victims, take their hands as an offering for Bhaal, and make it look like the cult of the Absolute was behind it all. It grants them access to a tribunal. From what I could gather, it's some sort of rite of initiation for aspiring cultists to prove their worth. And it's taking place beneath Candle Hallow's tombstones. Like I said before, it's not something I can look into in an official capacity. But you?
I suppose I'd better go and find a hand then.
Technically, I haven't yet done an inventory of this crime scene. So if something were to go missing from a corpse...
I'll take a look into it.
And I'll pick up where I left off. The upper city. When I'm done, I'll stop by the Basilisk Gate. If you've got anything to tell of your investigations by then, I'd love to hear it.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
What is the Murder Tribunal?
The corpse tries to speak, but something prevents it.
Why were these targets chosen?
The corpse remains silent. It does not know.
How do I get access to the Murder Tribunal?
Speak the word at the door. Bring proof of 2 sacrifices.
What word must be spoken?
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
I must say, I'm damn lucky you showed up when you did. Can you believe what that monster was doing?
Unfortunately, yes. I've been hunting him for quite some time.
Truly? Then you're made of sterner stuff than I, friend. I'll confess, it terrified me greatly. Can you imagine dressing entirely in red? Jests aside, thank you. You forever have my humblest gratitude and a most generous discount on my wares.
What are you selling?
I sell anything and everything needed to cultivate your countenance. The best you'll find in Baldur's Gate. Certainly better than any dreck you'll pick up in Worm's Crossing.
Glad to see you in good spirits, Figaro.
In the face of such horror, I don't see that I have much choice. Now, how may I help you today?
Well, maybe something nice for the evening. What do you think, Gale?
If that is what will make you happy.
Candle Hallow's tombstones, remembering the deceased with sympathy and skill.
Well, the customer service is a bit lacking.
The locked door has red text on it reading, "All are awaited, all are embraced. None shall escape."
Zacharias.
There's something engraved on this skull. Living, a torment of sorrow and strife, is a burden to great and to small. We faithful cure mortals of burdensome life and present it to Death Father Bhaal.
Present me well from gifts thine own, or I shall rend thy flesh from bone.
I killed to be here, and took the victim's hand as a proof.
A grasping hand, an offering vile. Enter now the Dread Lord's trial.
You gaze upon murder's progeny, child.
His most ill-trusted zealots.
His faithful departed.
Prodigal servants,
Each returns to do his bidding eternally.
No, this city is not your home. This man's infamy is known to you, and his presence sparks dread in the pit of your stomach. Before you is Saravok Anchev, a Bhaalist who almost brought Baldur's Gate to ruin a century ago. Davella was right. Not just an imitator, but Saravok himself.
This is the court of the Dread Lord's Tribunal. I am its custodian. Here come those who seek to transcend, aspirants of his most profane order, the would-be unholy assassins of Bhaal.
Saravok Anchev, how are you still alive?
A long while ago, my wretched sibling brought me back. The fairest of Bhaal spawn soul-bound me to this husk. Worship death though I do, I refused it. I roamed the coast, gathering those who still held Bhaal in their black hearts. The cult survived, festering beneath the city, with me as the gate's everlasting poison. But no more, for poison is too slow a death. Now is the time for slaughter. With these killings, the glory of the Bhaalists has risen beyond what we dreamed possible during those dark days. But the worship of my lord is led by another now, my granddaughter Orin, the youngest unholy assassin ever to follow in Bhaal's bloody trail, and his chosen.
Orin is your granddaughter.
My very blood, and by extension, his. Bhaal has never had a more gifted prodigy. Orin's gifts surpassed even her mother's. Her mother knew this, and she could not bear it. When Orin was but 7 years old, she tried to smother the child as an offering to our Lord. I heard the screams. I ran to help, but feared for the child's life. But the cries were not Orin's. It was her mother's blood that soaked the sheets. Orin had cut off the very hand that tried to end her and made a plaything of it. And as she toyed with her dead mother's hand, a deep quiver rose up through her throat. The Lord of Murder speaking through the child. Lay not a finger on this child, he said, nor let any other, for this child will serve me with unholy ardor. Protect her in my name.
Did you know that your daughter was planning to kill Orin?
I knew of my daughter's ambitions, but not the lengths to which she'd go. She hungered for Bhaal's favor more than anyone I'd ever known. But her daughter, Orin, hungered even more. My lord made his choice. I abided by his words. But Orin is not the subject of our judgment here today. You wish to become an unholy assassin of Bhaal. So, approach and be judged.
I am ready to be judged.
Let us begin. Spirit of the slaughtered, return to us. Show us the truth of this murderer's intent, and let us judge her for her bloody service.
His will be done.
the spirit's life, and thus its voice. So, speak for it. How was this pitiable creature slain?
With a smile on my face and pleasure in my heart.
Reverence.
Zeal.
Long may he reign!
Your offering pleases Lord Bhaal. Your words delight him. You slaughter well, aspirant. You are deemed worthy. Enter the Dreadlord's abattoir and submit to his will. You stand now on the cusp of the Dreadlord's favor. One killing secures your rebirth as an unholy assassin of Bhaal. The slaughter of a celestial being. Make violence of its goodness. Spill its blood and bathe in Bhaal's eternal rapture.
Boy, I know you! Do not listen to this ancient fuck! Free me at once!
Blood will be spilt, Sarevok. I will slaughter you.
I will not tolerate impudence. This place shall be your grave.
You! Free me at once!
Took you bloody long enough. You've no idea how wrinkles like mine get caught in chains like that. I suppose some thanks are in order. You did a good job putting a stop to those Bhaalist Burks. Though I do wish you'd figured this all out before I, put the blame for Father Lorgan's murder on that poor refugee. Well, at least it's over now.
How did you end up here?
After our chat at Charessa's Caress, I thought it best to polish off the bottle I'd started. I started coming over all woozy. My joints stiffened up quicker than a brothel browser's loins. Paralyzed. My vision went black. When I woke up, I was in chains. Overall, a terrible ordeal. One deserving of a drink. I bid you good day, but it's been royally shite all round.
It's about to get worse. We need to put a stop to the Bhaalist resurgence.
There is no we in this equation, my friend. I assure you, I am quite finished. Besides, it's plain to see that I'm well out of my depth here. But you gave these reprobates a proper seeing to. You clearly have what I don't. Courage, insight, heroism. The city needs you. I overheard these pigs talking. There's a Bhaal temple deep within the old Undercity that the cult is using. A century ago, it was destroyed by a group of heroic sorts. Let's hope history repeats itself, eh? This place is foul as piss. I'm out of here.
The blood of Bhaal must never be wasted, only multiplied. I knew it from the moment of her birth. I watched the babe become a woman. Helena, my shape-shifting beauty, my daughter, and Bhaal's waiting womb. In her I planted my Lord's seed, and thus did we beget the blood lamb Orin, the child of my child, and Bhaal's sacrifice in waiting. I did not know that it would be Orin that Bhaal favored, not Helena. Orin would help to bring forth a new birth in Bhaal's name, a world baptized in blood.
By the gods.
Colourful neighbourhood, they said. Wicked.
I was hoping I hadn't missed you. The Patriarchs are safe, but it took longer to calm them down than I was hoping. Tell me, how did your investigations into the Bhaalist Tribunal go?
That cult is disgusting. Did you know that Sarevok had a child with his own daughter?
Oh, that's... The things you must have seen to find that out. Tell me you put a stop to it.
I found the tribunal and killed Sarevok.
So he was back. I was right. This is excellent news. Tell me everything.
There was a lot of blood. Best I spare you the details.
Perhaps you're right. Well, in any case, thank you. You should think about joining the Fish, you know. We could do with more people like you.
It's you! Look at us! We made it to the city! We made it to the Elf Song Tavern!
I'm glad to see you safe, Alfira.
And are you? Never thought I'd live to perform for the greatest audience in the realms. The entirety of Baldur's Gate. Larissa lets me practice up here when she's on shift downstairs. She's too good to me. But you... I have a bone to pick with you, oh brave adventurer.
Oh dear, am I in trouble?
Big trouble. The most trouble you've ever been in. I've decided I'm not going to perform in the Elf Song. Mainly because only the Elf Song itself is allowed to perform. I'm going to open up a school of bards, the best in the realms, to usher in a new age of magic and musicianship. And it's because of you that I dared to dream big enough.
That's wonderful, Alfira. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I wanted to tell you first because, well, you inspired me to do it. Here. My very first lute, tuned to perfection. Thought you'd appreciate it when I'm rich and famous. Take care, my friend. Thank you for helping a stumbling bard in a druid's grove find her spark again.
Ah, you found my hiding spot. Not a word to Alan. He doesn't believe in things like breaks. Or eating.
Larissa, I'd be more than happy to help you out at work. I could...
No, focus on your music. Besides, I'll be living a life of luxury when your school takes off.
If you need help, just say the word.
No need. I'm looking after my girl Alfira. Isn't that right, sweetie pie?
Larissa!
All right. The hero and I will stop teasing. For now.
I'll never get tired of this view.
Same here.
The bustle here takes some getting used to. Crackling fire and a tresson for company is usually more my speed. Still, we must flow with the current we find ourselves in, however tumultuous it may be. If you've need of me, I'm glad to help.
A stuffed beholder. Grotesque as it is, it's part of the furniture. The elf song wouldn't be the same without it.
You've been smiling like a fool of late, wizard. Explain yourself.
I found love. Surely even you wouldn't begrudge me some happiness.
All I will say on the matter is that you were wise to lower your standards from the godly to the ghastly.
Never mind the shining squares. I am more comfortable on streets like this. A peek at the true face behind the mask.
Yet another thing we have in common. We're two peas in a pod.
I said a peek behind the city's mask, Astarion. Not a look up its skirts.
Jaheira! What do you think of me?
Who's coming with me to see Emperor's old hideout?
You're getting close. The wine cellar. Good. On the other side, you'll find a passageway, known only to those invited to do business. There's a hidden door that leads further in. The mechanism to open it is somewhere among the wine racks. Githyanki, Vlaakith has found us. Get rid of them, quickly!
Tear every brick out if you have to. If it doesn't come, we must find evidence of its whereabouts.
Lae'zel, glad you could join us. The Kithraki have spread word of that artifact that you carry. Tell me, Lae'zel of Kalir, what reward do you think the astral prism will fetch once I pluck it from your corpse and present it to Vlaakith? What honors, what riches will the undying queen grant me when I hand her the failed prince?
Stand down. I protect the prism on our queen's behalf.
The undying queen cares not for who delivers her the prism and the traitor prince within. All that matters is that it is delivered. The false heir's head will make a fine trophy for Vlaakith. As for you, I will leave nothing behind but meat and shattered bone.
Strike me and die, a failed warrior forgotten by your people.
Damnable whelp. For 1,000 years I have given my life to Vlaakith. And you, Lae'zel, a child, an unascended, would snatch my glory for herself. You may keep your head. But I will yet be exalted. I will yet see my name carved in slate. Vlaakithka sivim hrath krashet.
Vlaakith is relentless. You handled it well. Let us hope she exhausts her forces soon. Now search the room. There's a statue that conceals the way through. I'll reveal it to you. My old home. Thank you for bringing me back. Look around. You'll find some of my things still intact. Perhaps even useful to you. My old sword. My first purchase as an adventurer. No use to me anymore. It's yours, if you want it. A shell. A keepsake from my final voyage. Pinched in a moment of sentimentality. My old wardrobe. The home of all my disguises. We are what we appear to be, and so appearances matter. My cutlery set. A gift from my mother. The butter knife is missing, but otherwise it looks to be complete. I don't need it anymore, but the memory stirs something in me still. There she is, in all her glory. Jubelin Stelmane, my old partner. Rascal's collar, my poor four-legged friend. Their lives are so brief, so simple, and yet full. The chains I use to bind my meals. Villains and lawbreakers. You see, I tried to exercise morality where I could. An old container for brains. Empty. Shame. It would have been nice to find one to sustain me now. A recipe for fiddlehead soup. A favorite meal of mine. When I had need of meals like that.
We don't want to go down to the sewers today, do we?
Not really, no.
Sorore surge, testis esto pacti me. Come, sisters, be my testament. Notum sit in beator.
Notum sit in beator.
Holy hells.
Please, introduce me to your friends.
Fina, Cirrus, arbiters for the hells, exemplars of justice.
Enough, Mizora. Where is my father? How do I save him?
How else? We bargain. Sisters.
Infernos contractos te vocamos. Infernos contractos te vocamos. Infernos contractos te vocamos.
Your contract, Wyll. signed in blood, forged in fire, bound in bone, but not unbreakable. Yet no contract is ended without sacrifice, Wyll. The cost must be paid. Wyll Ravengard, a choice is before you. Option 1. I show you the way to your father. I guarantee him no harm except that from you and your allies. And you pledge your soul to me and the archdevil Zariel in a pact eternal. Option 2. I break your pact and you are freed from your duty. Your father dies by his enemy's hand, and Baldur's Gate loses its greatest champion. Name your sacrifice.
Bloody Zariel! I won't let her take Wyll.
Silence, Karlach.
Mizora, you arsehole!
Choose.
Break the pact, Wyll. You deserve your freedom.
You damned wretch! Father. Do it. Break the pact.
Fiat Ita.
Fiat ita. Anima ad beator.
Didn't think you had it in you. Seems my boy's all grown up. And don't go fussing about your father. You made your choice. You knew the terms. You know what? I think I'll stick around. Not for the greater good, you understand. Just for the entertainment.
Gods. I spent 7 years choked by Mizora's leash. And I spent 7 years hoping to break free. I never knew freedom could taste so bittersweet.
I thought you never regretted taking the pact.
I didn't. I don't. My sacrifice kept Baldur's Gate safe from Tiamat's rage. But that doesn't mean that the leash never chafed. That I was content to lap up whatever nonsense Mizora fed me. The leash has been broken and my father left for dead. Tomorrow I celebrate my gain. But today, I mourn my loss.
A moment passes. In the stillness, you find a mote of tranquility.
The Ravengard name now lives solely with me. I will make it count for something.
Your father's not dead yet, Wyll. Maybe there's a way to save him.
I signed his life away before the Hell's Witnesses. It would be easier to drink the Styx down to the last drop than to alter his fate. I'd be a fool to wish otherwise.
What's our next step, then?
We obtain the final 2 Netherstones and take back our minds. And the city. From the brain.
Little Wyll's all grown up. I can't wait to see what trouble he gets into.
You forced Wyll to make an impossible choice.
Impossible? My bargain was uncommonly reasonable. A single soul for the return of Baldur's Gate's most beloved Duke. A real bargain, I should think. I never thought the legendary Blade of Frontiers would surrender his father for freedom. Not very valorous, if you ask me. But what does a mean old devil like me know about heroes?
I don't get it. If Wyll isn't your warlock, why stick around and give him power?
The Absolutists worked a number on me at Moonrise. And you're the best hope I've got at payback. No one crosses the Hell's Children without getting scorched.
You never told me how the Absolutists captured you.
Correct. I didn't. If you must know, I was scouting the cultists on behalf of Zariel. But those cursed shadows were thick enough to fell even a half-fiend. I woke in that damned pod. It kept my body sealed and my most powerful magic silenced. But a brave, kind, benevolent soul set me free. Gallantry isn't dead, after all.
You've left Karlach alone. Didn't you want her dead? What changed?
You are an inquisitive one. I'd have thought you'd figured by now. Zariel found a new use for an old battle axe. The dead three in that bulging brain of theirs are a threat to more than this trifling city, you know. Savor her company. Who's to say when Zariel might change her mind? My mistress can be so capricious.
If you're going to be staying, I need something in return.
Why? I'm supplying Wyll with every scrap of his infernal power. I've paid my dues many times over. I tell you what, when the time comes to squish that big baddie of a brain, I'll lend you a hand.
Time and again, Wyll's plight reinforces my decision not to pursue the path of a warlock. It's one thing to make such a sacrifice in the pursuit of such a pact, but to do so in order to escape one. Truly, it leaves you with nothing.
Wyll sacrificed his own father. I hope freedom from the Pact is worth it to him.
A hard choice, but not one that is unknown in nature. At times, a seedling must strangle the very tree that bore it, if it's to survive.
I did not know Duke Ravengard that well, but I am sure he would not want his son to become slave to Zariel for his sake. I am sure Wyll knows that, but we would do well to remind him when his days grow dark.
You sound like you speak from experience.
No one truly understands the weight of loss until they've worn it a while. There is no shame in sharing the load when you need to.
Wyll gave up his father to have freedom. An understandable decision. Sacrifices must be made after all. Especially if the old Duke's fall means his rise.
Patricide is often the first step toward greatness. But I hope Wyll does not regret sacrificing his infernal powers.
The devil Mizora has made herself quite at home, hasn't she? Do make her feel as unwelcome as you can.